speaker is Fadi Fadhil, a first-generation Iraqi-American who sought political asylum in the U.S. after serving as an interpreter during the war. He is the Chief Information Officer from Minneapolis Public Schools. You're up next. Did I pronounce your name correctly? I did.
Good evening. People often tell me that I have a crazy story. Yet it is not that crazy. Not to me. I could tell you about a place where people can get executed for owning a satellite dish. Or I could tell you about my friend Ali, who disappeared for innocently questioning the presidential speech. Or how 3 years later I got to stand in his shoes for not joining Saddam's regime, the political party of the Ba'ath. A silent, harmless act of freedom that I chose to do on my own when I was only 12 years old. Or maybe how when you were cheering to the images on TV of the Saddam Hussein statue falling down. I was cheering too, but I was cheering for a different reason. You see, I was only 2 weeks away from my execution sentence date. A few months later, I must say though, that statue falling actually did save my life, literally. And maybe that's a conversation for another time. But I can tell you that a few months later, I come across a group of US soldiers talking to an imam, a local leader on the street. And they were yelling at him in front of his followers. Something took over me, I went on autopilot, and I started interpreting the situation. That's when the English language that I learned from watching American movies came very handy in bridging the gap between one side saying in American, or in English, sorry, "Where is your power plant? We're here to fix it. Just show us where it is." And the other side is saying in Arabic, لا تحكي وياي هيجي هذا البلد بعد مالتنا أنا ما أفتهم إنجليزي ولا تجيب لي ماكدونالدز مالتك. Or in other words, don't raise your voice. I don't understand English. This is still my country. And don't bring your McDonald's here. Now, fast forward a year later, I am a committed interpreter with the United States military, fulfilling what felt and still feels like a life calling. I'm sitting in the back of a military truck going on my way to a mission, and I'm chatting with a fellow young American soldier who was very curious about college life in Baghdad. He was actually asking about the girls. But when I told him some examples of what it's like, or how you can get in trouble for not applauding every time Saddam Hussein's name is mentioned, he was livid. He was, what? You guys let that happen? How can they get away with that? He was an American, what did he know? Now let's fast forward another year after. I'm living on the base with the American troops for my own safety, for my own protection. I had to completely cut my ties with my family and almost all of my friends for their own protection, so they don't die by association. A lot of these ties lasted 10 years being cut. Al-Qaeda and local insurgency were killing interpreters, hunting them down. They were falling down like flies. I was the last of a group of 12 interpreters. I came across a documentary filmmaker who was making a documentary about the story of Iraq, who ended up following this interesting story of interpreters. And with her help and the help of the US military, I come to the United States on a political asylum. Chapter 2. I'm here in the United States. I land in JFK. So my first journey in the United States is in Manhattan. I always thought that living in the United States is like that show Friends. So it was perfect. Loved it. And then I went to Texas. There I learned what a good steak can taste like. It's not easy to get a lamb person to enjoy that, but they did it. And I also learned how much I enjoyed the electric slide. Yet fate had a different plan for me. I actually landed in Minnesota. That's where I ended up. Right at the moment, that journey started right at the moment when Colonel Bauman, the commander of the last unit that I served with, said, Freddy! Freddy was my American given name. I didn't mind it much. I like the band Queen. I like Freddie Mercury, so Freddy, have you seen snow before? I said, no. It would be cool. I saw it on TV. And he goes, well, I'm about to go back to my home state, Minnesota, and start my life as a civilian. You survived roadside bombs, so you can handle Minnesota. When it really, really hit me is when another friend says, Freddie, have you seen Democracy in Action? Do you really want to see it? And I said, yeah. He's like, all right, come with me tonight. We're going to a town hall meeting. It was in the city of Lakeville. There, what I saw was heartwarming. There, I saw a group of people sitting in the same space, varying from the far right to the far left in what they thought about things. And they were all speaking so freely. No one was afraid. No one disappeared. I wish my friend Ali was alive to see that. He would have been as happy as I was when I saw it. It was not in vain. It was all worth it. When we look at our country today and we see how sometimes we may seem divided, right at that moment is when I just love and I urge you to love, to remember how lucky we are that we are able to speak our mind freely. I mean, think about it. From there, where you can go. From there, where is it that you can't go? A few weeks back, I was talking to my sister, who is living now in Saudi Arabia with her British husband. And she was telling me some stuff about life there and whatnot. So I was like, tell me a little bit more. She's like, tell me some interesting stuff. But then she got to telling me about things like how women are not allowed to try on their dresses or clothes at the store. How movie theaters are absolutely banned. Complete no-no. I was livid. I was like, what? How can they get away with that? How can you guys let them do that? And she says, LOL, who the hell do you think you are? I paused for a moment. I smiled in my head and I said, I'm an American. Thank you.
I told you we had 3 good speakers. Did we not have 3 amazing speakers? Thank you